Picture it, the middle of the grocery store. Your toddler is on the floor, screaming, back arched, completely gone. Every head turns, and the voice in your head says exactly what everyone taught you. They're doing this on purpose. Don't give in. That voice is wrong. What's happening in your child's brain right now is something completely different, and it changes everything. Welcome to Inside Your Child's Mind. I'm Dr. Sara. Stay to the end. The seventh thing is the one I most want you to hear. Let's go. The first thing, and it changes everything. A meltdown is not manipulation. It's a normal, well-documented stage of brain development. Not bad parenting, not a spoiled child, not a tiny mastermind plotting to control you. Decades of developmental science are clear. Tantrums are what a healthy but immature brain does when it gets overwhelmed. So the very first shift is this. Stop asking, how do I make them stop? And start asking, what is happening inside them? Everything changes from there. The second thing, your toddler's thinking brain is still under construction. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine the brain has an upstairs and a downstairs. The upstairs brain, the prefrontal cortex, handles logic, patience, self-control, calming yourself down. The downstairs brain, where the amygdala lives, handles raw emotion, fear, anger, alarm. Now here's the catch. The downstairs brain is fully open for business at birth. But the upstairs brain won't be anywhere near finished for years. Parts of it keep developing well into the teens. Your toddler is trying to manage adult-sized feelings with a brain that hasn't built the tools yet. So, when you look at that screaming child and think, why won't they just stop? The real answer is quieter and kinder. They can't yet. The part of them that could isn't finished. The third thing, what a meltdown actually is. When your toddler gets overwhelmed, too tired, too hungry, too much, one no too many, the downstairs brain sounds the alarm, floods with stress chemicals, and takes over. And the upstairs brain, the calm, reasonable one, essentially goes offline. That's the meltdown. It isn't a decision. It's a system overload. It's why your child can go from giggling to screaming in 3 seconds flat. The switch flipped, and they're not the one who flipped it. The fourth thing follows straight from that, and it'll save you so much frustration. In the middle of a full meltdown, reasoning does not work. And now you know why. The part of the brain that could hear your logic is offline. Explaining, bargaining, if you calm down then we can, none of it lands because there's no one home upstairs to receive it. Trying to reason with a melting down toddler is like trying to talk to a phone while it's rebooting. First, it has to come back online. So here's the rule that replaces every lecture, every bargain, every if you calm down then. Connection before correction. Every single time. The fifth thing, and this one I want you to feel, not just hear. There's a phrase that changes parents forever. Your child is not giving you a hard time. Your child is having a hard time. Under the screaming, under the kicking, is a very small person who is genuinely overwhelmed, flooded by something far too big for their little brain to hold. They're not the villain of this scene. They're the one drowning in it. The sixth thing, what they're actually feeling in there. A meltdown is frightening from the inside. Imagine a wave of feeling so big it swallows your whole body, and you have no idea how to make it stop. That's your toddler. In a real sense, they are scared of their own emotions. And that's why, in that moment, what they need is not a lecture, not a consequence, not a lesson. What they need is to feel that someone bigger, calmer, and unafraid is still right there, steady when they can't be. That steadiness has a name. It's the whole heart of what I call the art of containment. Stay with me, because the seventh thing is the one that takes all the pressure off you, and I don't want you to miss it. And if Inside Your Child's Mind is giving you something real, take 1 second to subscribe. We put out new science every few days about what your child can't say yet, but is absolutely feeling. Before I tell you the most important thing, let me tell you about a mom I think about often. She told me she felt like a failure because she could never stop her son's tantrums fast enough. She thought staying calm meant she was letting him win. So I asked her one question. When you were small and you fell apart, what did you need? Someone to punish you for it or someone to stay? She went quiet because she already knew. And that is the seventh thing, the heart of all of it. Your toddler cannot calm themselves down yet. They physically don't have the wiring, so they do the only thing they can. They borrow your calm. It's called co-regulation, and it isn't a soft idea. It's neuroscience. A child brings their own nervous system down by syncing to a calm adult's. They can't find the calm inside themselves yet, so they borrow it from you, which means, in a meltdown, you are not failing when you can't make it stop. You are succeeding every second you stay steady. You're not the calm after the storm, you're the calm inside it. And your calm, borrowed 1,000 times, is slowly becoming theirs. The eighth thing, what you do in that moment becomes their blueprint. Every time they fall apart and you stay, not perfectly, just present, you write one more line in a story they'll carry forever. This is what love does when I'm at my worst. It doesn't leave. It doesn't turn scary. It stays. And that blueprint becomes how they expect to be loved for the rest of their life. And one day, how they'll steady their own child on the floor of some grocery store 20 years from now. The ninth thing. Every meltdown you weather calmly is a lesson. This is actually how self-regulation gets built, not through punishment, but through repetition. You stay calm, you help them down, again and again, and slowly their brain lays the wiring to do it themselves one day. The tantrum you're dreading isn't a failure of your parenting. It's the classroom where regulation is quietly being taught. You're not just surviving it, you're building something. And the last thing, the simplest and the most freeing. The next time it happens, you do not have to fix the feeling. Get down to their level. Lower your voice. Stay. Be the calm they can't find yet. One honest note. Tantrums are normal, but if your child's meltdowns are extremely frequent, extremely intense, last a very long time, involve hurting themselves, or are still escalating well past the toddler years, that's worth a conversation with your pediatrician. Some kids need extra support, and asking for it is good parenting. And this calm? It can come from a mom, a dad, a grandparent, anyone steady enough to stay. The title doesn't matter. The staying does. Quick reminder, I'm an educational resource, not a replacement for your pediatrician. If you're ever worried about your child, talk to someone who knows them. Tell me below, where does your toddler melt down the most? I read every one. And subscribe, because next, we're decoding what your toddler is really thinking when they tell you no, again and again. But before you go, one last thing. 20 years from now, your child won't remember the toy. They won't remember the grocery store or what they were even crying about. But they will remember what your love felt like when they completely fell apart. You don't have to stop the storm. Just be the calm inside it. Because they borrow their calm from you until one day it becomes their own. I'm Dr. Sara. Go be their safe place.